Well, today is the 20th of August, and it's a scalding hot morning already. It's not quite noon. I'm going to get out of this hot sun. However, first I need to take our barbecue grill and put it on the deck because my daughter wants to come over later this afternoon. She wants to barbecue a few hamburgers on the grill. So I told her, I said, well, what's wrong with my Blackstone griddle? She said, no, I want to have them on the grill. Well, of course, I'm going to have to haul this thing from here all the way to the deck in this hot sun. Oh, and the humidity is horrible. Anyway, the cable is down, so I don't have any internet or TV anyway, so it gives me something to do. Now, some of you might be saying, wait a minute, whoa, back up a minute. I thought you said you were going to go with AT&T, DSL, and DirecTV. Why are you still on cable for internet and TV? Well, that is a long but short story. I'll tell you about it later on in the video. I have a theory, and the theory involves this wire that I put together quite a while ago with a couple of alligator clips on each end. I may have to put a new one on here. This one got kind of mangled over the years, but let me show you what I'd like to do with that. I decided at long last to get a little table set up here next to my workbench and put up the old DX160. And after firing it up, I found out I've got some scratchy RF gain knob, a scratchy AF audio frequency gain, and this switch right here from AM to single sideband is a little scratchy. I'm going to have to open it up and give it another good cleaning and spraying. It's been quite a while. Anyway, I need an antenna. Unfortunately, this entire building is covered in metal, and it sort of acts like a Faraday cage in effect. It blocks out signals. Anyway, also if I turn on, I can get some sound. But watch what happens when I turn on the lights. Not good, huh? Anyway, so that means I'm going to have to use my old desk lamp, which is also a fluorescent light, but it doesn't seem to be affecting it very much. The problem is, I'm not getting all that good of reception because I'm inside this building. So I have a theory. Let's give it a shot. Before I retired, I used to take my radios to work with me once in a while. There was a hole that ran through the wall, and there was a flagpole outside, a really tall flagpole, and there was also a chain link fence that was not grounded into the ground. It was attached to some wooden some wooden 6x6s, I think they were. And I was able to take this, I built this wire, a long wire, it goes really long, and it ran out through the hole in the building. I connected it to the radio through the hole and ran it out to the flagpole, and if that didn't work so hot some days, I went ahead and connected the wire to the chain link fence. It worked great. One way or the other, it would always work. So here's my theory. I have a metal building here. What is metal? It's an antenna, Each of these panels is connected together. Oh yeah, but they're painted and they're insulated. No. Once you bore a hole and you run a screw through it, even though it has a little insulator underneath the lip, they're still connected by the threads of the screw. Each one is connected all the way down. So here's the theory. This is our power input, and of course we have a bracket here. So let's hook this baby up right here. And let's hook it to our antenna. Right now, the theory is the whole building, all the metal on the outside of this building is now my new antenna. Let's see what happens when we go inside. Alright, this is the antenna coming from outside there, and this is the one going to the antenna connector on the back. I'm not even using the ground. I could always run another wire out to the ground wire out there. It's not a problem. Let's go ahead and let's turn it up. Now let's go ahead and hook the two together. How's that for turning lemons into lemonade? Well, now that we know that it works, and what are we going to do? We're just going to leave this wire hanging out here like this all the time just for an antenna? No, we're not. We got lucky. When they poured the concrete for this building, they asked me where I wanted the electrical wire conduit pipe put in. So I told him right here, you know, it's just a U thing went down. You know, it's for bringing in electrical wires from the house up into the circuit breaker box. Well, that pipe, it went down through the concrete and then it came out down here in the dirt somewhere. But in the end, I decided I didn't want to go with that route because it was only a 1-inch pipe. And that sucked, you know, squeezing all those wires through. It was no good. So we eventually went with this. So we're good to go on this. It goes up, it goes straight through to the circuit breaker box. But that pipe is still down there and I can still utilize that thing. So I can run this wire from inside down through that pipe, out, and then bring it up and connect it to this bracket right here. You know, unscrew a screw and put it in there and then put some silicone over the top. Maybe not this particular wire, but you know, a wire that I can use for the antenna and hook it up to my wall. At least that's the theory. I'm going to try to get that done if we can ever get the rain to stop around here. Again, it's been raining for days. It's raining right now. Well, more and more potatoes are popping up every day, so it's time to break open a couple of bales of straw and at least get one layer down on everything. And then in the spring we'll add more. But I want lots of good rotted straw, everything to be really fertile next year. I've already put fertilizer on it. That's it for this year. We're just going to let it sit there now and just rot. Now, wifey wants me to take the old tomato plants down. They have had to lick for the year. Let's go take a look at our horseradish. It was just a tiny itsy bitsy piece that I had left unplanted. Let's see how it's getting along. Well, check this out, Scott. Look what we have here. Boy, I'll tell you what, these babies made you proud. Anyway, I planted these things in, I guess it would have been July. I will not be harvesting any more horseradish until next July. It's got to grow for a year. Maybe it'll spread through this whole box. That would be kind of neat. I guess it's hardy enough to withstand the winter, especially down here. It's not too bad. Pickles. A while back, I made a jar of Polish dill pickles based on a recipe supplied by one of our, it was a link to a Polish dill pickle recipe on the internet that was supplied by one of our good subscribers. And I made it, and it just didn't quite have the taste it was supposed to have. So wifey came jumping in there and she made her own jar full right here that we used some of the large, I wanted the pickles to be a little bit smaller, but that's what we had on the vine outside at the time. So she made them and they turned out really, really good. I'll give you a look-see on the inside. I've been munching these babies. They smell like they're supposed to. They taste like they're supposed to. They are wonderful. Just perfect. So they were so good that wifey went ahead and made a second jar full, and this time we used a little smaller pickles, but next year when we grow them we're going to make them even smaller yet. Fantastic stuff. They turned out exactly like they're supposed to. They just taste so good, so Polish like they're supposed to be. A few videos ago I told you that AT&T had finished installing a fiber optic cable and one of the junction points was right in my own yard. This was for, you know, DSL and internet, you know, direct subscriber line. I was really happy to see that because I wanted off the cable, which we now have, and I wanted something different. We're on Media 3, and I'll tell you what, it's been my experience that it just totally sucks. I can't stand it anymore hardly. But anyway, we went ahead and decided to go ahead and sign up with the AT&T DSL. At the time, I didn't know that they were also the owners of DirecTV, which it didn't matter either way. I was going to get both, but boy, what a fiasco that turned out to be. Alright folks, here's the long sad story about AT&T and also DirecTV. I went ahead and called up AT&T and I said, hey look, you know, you just installed a fiber optic junction box in my yard. It looks like the cable is all done for now. You've got it all laid. Is it ready to hook on? Or do I have to wait a little while longer? She said, let me check. She took my address. She came back in a few minutes. She said, you're good to go. We can hook you up right away. I said, oh, that's great. And she said, well, I'll have to have some information. I said, whatever you need. I said, I'm on cable right now. It sucks. I hate it. I can't stand it anymore. I'm tired of it being down, down, down all the time. She said, I understand, you know. Where I made my mistake was not going online and checking with DirecTV. But it really wasn't a mistake because I didn't know that AT&T had bought out DirecTV. I didn't know that. And of course, if I had checked with AT&T and, you know, with reviews to see what kind of service people were getting on their DSL line, I probably would have picked up on that. So that part, that's my fault. Always go with a review first, check things out. Anyway, an hour of questioning later, and I mean it was a full hour. It didn't take that many questions to go in the Army. And I told the lady that, and she said, oh, it's just a few more. It's just a few more. I said, let me tell you something. If this continues much longer, that's it. I'm tired of this. My phone's almost dead. The battery's almost dead here. She said, okay, well, finally, she said, okay, we got you hooked up. Here's the deal. You're going to go ahead, you're going to get your DSL. You're going to get double the channels you have now on your TV. And we're going to go ahead and install it all for free. You get discount, you know, you qualify for this discount, this discount, this discount. I said, okay, whatever. She said, we're going to do the whole thing, and it's going to cost you $35 less per month. Well, I thought that was a good deal. I said, yeah, that sounds good. You know, she said, okay, here's what's going to happen. The power company's going to come out in the next day or two, and then they will check where the power lines are run because they have to dig a line for the DirecTV in order to set up the pipe and the dish. You know, they bury it under the ground. They don't want to run into any power lines. I said, whatever. You know, she said they'll mark your lawn. The installation was free. The whole thing was fabulous. She was a fast talker. You know, she's fast. These people they put in these jobs, they're real slickies. They're real fast talkers. They think the people that they talk to are total idiots. You know, I understood exactly what she was doing. Fast talk, slicky. Every time the customer feels like he senses he might be backing out, oh, you know, they jump on that and bring him back. You know, I understand all that. Most people do, even though they think we don't. Well, the guy comes out a couple days later. He marks the ground. Everything's going smooth, and then I was told I was called on a recorded message that said, your DirecTV installer will be there. Now this was on a Thursday when the power guy came out, and the message said Thursday by 4 o'clock the DirecTV installer will be out to install your DirecTV, your dish, and get you all set up and get you operational. And you will also, I think it was, I got another message by email from AT&T that said, you know, there'll be a guy out to hook up your DSL line, any equipment you need. Won't cost you anything, you know, and he'll be out in the next couple. But first, we're going to send you the stuff you might need, and blah blah blah. And okay, whatever, you know. If Monday comes, I'm seeing the DirecTV installer is supposed to be here by 4 o'clock. Well, I get these recorded messages starting at 10 in the morning. It says, today's the day. You know, you're going to get your DirecTV installed. Everything's going to be fine. The installer is aware of it. He'll be there by the appointed time by 4 o'clock. Great. I thought that was pretty neat, you know. They actually cared about me, you know. 12 noon, I get another recording. Same thing. He'll be there. We know he's supposed to be there at 4. Not a problem. He'll be there on time. 2 o'clock rolls around. 3 o'clock rolls around. I get another recorded message. Same thing. You know, he'll be there by 4. Well, 4 o'clock rolls around. There is no DirecTV installer. Nobody at 5, nobody at 6, nobody at 7, no phone calls, no nothing from anybody. So I'm like, what is going on here? Well, I said, well, maybe he'll come in the morning. He might have got tied up. It would have been nice if he'd have made a phone call and said, hey, look, it took longer than I expected to do the installations I'm on. Can we do it in the morning? I'll be fresher, more alert. I'll do you a better job. I won't be tired. I said, sure, I understand. I'm a working stiff, you know. The next day, Tuesday, he's nowhere to be found. A couple days go by and still no. I'm hearing nothing from AT&T about the DSL line, nothing from DirecTV about the TV. So, you know, all of a sudden I get another phone call from DirecTV with another recording that says, hey, you have not scheduled your DirecTV connection and installation. You need to call this number or go online on this website. And I was like, what are you talking about? The guy was supposed to show up 3 days ago or 4 days ago or something like that. I said, that, you know, I'm just tired of it. So I waited a couple more days. and I start getting emails that says, in order for you to schedule, you haven't scheduled your DirecTV connection yet, an installation, and they start coming one after another. That's it, you know. I had my fill of that crap. Here, heard nothing from AT&T, nothing from DirecTV. So I called up and I said, guess what, guys? I'm having a problem. I don't want to put up with it anymore. I want you to cancel the whole stupid thing. They said, well, let me check the computer. They checked the computer and I'm nowhere in their system. I'm not in their computer system. After an hour's worth of questioning, I'm not in their computer system. And I'm like, you got to be kidding. They said, yeah, we can't find it. She said, well, she connects me to like 3 other people, to include a supervisor, and not one of them could find me. Well, I'm sorry, sir, but you're not in the system anywhere. I said, well, guess what? You know, I'm getting these recorded phone calls from you guys. Somebody must know I'm out here. It's really becoming a comedy act. I said, that's it, cancel me. Just cancel me. I'm done. Okay, so she's all right. Well, I'm sorry you're having this problem. She says, I'll forward you to a supervisor and you guys can discuss the options. And I said, wait, there's no options. There's only one. Cancel it. That's it. I'm done. I don't want to put up with this anymore. I've had my fill. She said, okay. I said, I know it's not your fault. You know, it's not your fault. I understand you're on the receiving end of an irate customer who wants to get rid of you. I said, don't take it as me getting on your case, because I know it's not your fault. She said, well, I appreciate that. I said, I know. You get lots of guys like me and women like me, you know, with no patience anymore. So she said she would take care of it. We hung up. A couple days later, guess what? More phone calls. You have got to schedule your installation. I said, God. So I went online, and I'm looking around. I said, something's got to give here. And I ran into a number on a guy called the customer loyalty guy for AT&T. The customer loyalty guy is supposed to be the cure-all, fix-all type. You know, he can change the course of an asteroid if it's got on its way to smash into the planet. You know, he could do that. That's how powerful he is. So I called him up and I explained to him exactly what I just explained to you, and he says, I cannot believe this. I said, either can I. I said, here's what I want you to do. He said, no, I can probably fix all this for you. I said, no, no more fixing, no more phone calls, no more recorded messages, no more emails, nothing. Cancel it all. I may change my mind at a later date. If I do, I'll come back and let you know. In the meantime, I want 3 of you all. You're driving me crazy. He says, okay, I understand. He said, I will fix it, and you will not be contacted again. And he said, any money that you have paid, you will be refunded. And I think they collected like $9 for some kind of tax I had to pay or something. I said, okay, fine. I didn't care if I ever got the $9, you know. Well, guess what? When we hung up, that was the end of it. I have not yet been contacted again. I even got my $9 back. Well, so the guy knew what he was doing. But I did get an email the other day that says, you know, we're real sorry we couldn't pull this off for you. If you change your mind, please click on this link and let's start over. Which I might do at a later date, but not right now. So I'm still tolerating the cable, which is up, down, up, down, up, down. Media 3 is so bad. The experience I've had with that company is just horrendous. So that's where we stand now. And until next time, this is John.